What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Yeah, I know y'all like, what in the world? Yes, I am. Yes, I am broadcasting from the vehicle. But hey, I'm trying to get used to this life, right? So we definitely wanted to maintain our Tropical Thursdays pop up. And so today's pop up is going to be with a dope artist named Cy Smith. And so Cy is actually, she herself has been in interviews all day long. So what we're going to do is we're going to give her a few minutes to come on, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what's forthcoming. So basically, um, Sky has worked with a lot of people. And one of the things that I definitely want to tell you is that she is referenced as the queen of underground soul, the queen of underground soul. And so there is a song that is out, and the collaboration is between Psy and a singer musician named Rachel Eckcroft. And so basically, the song that's now streaming on all platforms is called Perfect Love, right? And it's a collaboration, and it stemmed from a world tour with a jazz trumpeter by the name of Chris Body. Chris Body. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna give Sai a little bit of time to get on. And then we're really gonna have, a conscious conversation about, what she has going on and things of that nature. Cause she's super duper dope. And I think you will really, really, really enjoy Cy Smith. So we're gonna give her a few minutes to kind of get herself together, and she will be on shortly. So we're gonna camp out for a little bit, and we'll be right back with you. All righty, guys, and we're back. And just when I get ready, I was gonna play y'all a little bit of music. But look, Ty is with me, and we getting ready to get it rocking and a rolling.
Hey, how are
We
you?
good. We got it right, honey. Trying to get used to this lifestyle. Trying to get used to this lifestyle. Working and moving, working and moving.
It's crazy, but I really appreciate you being so patient with me, girl.
No, I appreciate you and all of the viewers and listeners being patient with me. So, Sky, let's dive right in. Tell everybody
Okay.
who you are with your elegant self.
Wow, elegant. Thank you so much. Well, my name is Cy Smith. I'm a singer, I'm a recording artist, musician, songwriter, actress. I don't know what else to say. I'm just a girl out here in the world trying to do her thing, you know?
And your thing you are doing, honey.
Thank you. Thank
Oh
you.
my gosh. Sky, talk to us a little bit about the journey, though. Let's take a roll down memory lane. Not a stroll, a roll, because I know it's
A
been a whole lot.
roll? Do we have the time? Because
We,
it's a
oh, we do,
it's a
we do. We
story.
well, look,
Uh,
give us some snippets.
okay. So my story begins, I guess, in New York City, where I was
Mhm,
born, and then I moved to DC very shortly after that, where I grew up.
mhm,
I
mhm.
I I studied music growing up, studied piano, studied voice in the choir circuit, did all those choral things, choirs, all county, all state, all this, all that, that was my thing. And then after I finished high school, my mother finally let me join a go-go band, which is what I wanted to do. Every kid in DC, in the DC area who has any inkling towards music wants to play in a go-go band. So I finally did that. Um, and then uh, after I finished high school, I went to Howard University, HU, um, where turn all the way up. And I studied psychology with a minor in music therapy. At the time, I wasn't really sure that I could, because I didn't go to like a fine arts high school, so I wasn't really sure if I could even hang with the fine arts kids at Howard. So I didn't major in that. But it turned out I really could hang with those kids, and I ended up joining an a cappella group called In Time while I was there. And I learned so much from that group. Uh, I learned just so much about vocal arranging and writing. And at the same time, I had a good friend named Scotty Beats, who was an engineer at a studio called Night Flight. And Scotty saw that I had, some musical things happening. So he kind of pulled me under his wing and brought me into the studio with him. And he kind of taught me how to record, taught me how to sing in the studio, which is a very different sort of type of singing than, just singing on stage or theater singing. It's a different thing. So I sort of became like the go-to girl for songwriters who needed a song to be demoed, because I could really sort of sound like anybody at the time, like I could sound kind of close to, your Janet Jackson pitches, or I could sound kind of close to any songs being pitched to like, like your SWVs and I could kind of do all of that stuff, and I hadn't really landed on who Cy Smith was yet, so I didn't really have a nuance vocally that was just me, After I finished at Howard, I moved to LA to become a songwriter. And all of the songs that I had written and demoed, everybody thought it was like a recording artist demo. So everybody kept trying to give me a record deal. And I was like, no, 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 no. That's not what I want to do.
Okay.
And so back to what I just said about having sort of my own sort of vocal nuance, this is when I discovered that I did have that. And it wasn't showing up because I wasn't writing the songs. But when I wrote my own songs, that's when you could hear, the Cy Smith sort of story, So I finally bit the bait and took a record deal, even though I didn't move to LA to become a recording artist, but I discovered about myself during that time at Hollywood Records that I really enjoyed being in the front. And I really enjoyed, being sort of the star of the show and being amplified in such a way that everybody had to pay attention to me, for once. I was so used to downplaying myself and minimizing myself. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. Now, the other side of that coin is, while I was getting my footing in LA, I got gigs singing backup for a lot of different people. So I sang with Kenny Lattimore. That was my first tour. And then I got the gig singing with Whitney Houston. And with Whitney, my first show with her was live on HBO from Constitution Hall in DC. Yeah, and then after Whitney, I went on to do a lot of work with Ricky Minor, her music director. So I did, a show called Motown Live, and he put me on the Shaka Khan gig for a while, and I was on Brandy's, gig whenever Brandy was doing like sort of promo, the Tonight Show circuit, that kind of thing. I did that. I did Mary J. Blige for a little while, did J Lo for a little while, DJ Quick, Meshell Ndegeocello, Macy Gray. There's so many people. I've sung backup for a lot of different people.
So you have a very, very, very diverse. I mean, honestly, you've had some notable collaborations. And your portfolio is just immaculate. What continues though? Because you've done a lot. So what continues to motivate and inspire you?
Um, I think the main motivating force for me
Mhm.
is that I have a story to tell. I have things that I
Yes,
want
yes,
to express.
yes, yes, yes.
I have views, I have feelings, I have mistakes that I have made that I want to talk about.
Yeah,
I have
yes.
victories and I have struggles. I just have a story. And even if the songs that I'm writing, because sometimes the songs that I'm writing aren't necessarily my own experiences, but the lived experiences of people I know, or things that I've read. But I just like to amplify stories, and I enjoy that as a I think as a motivating factor. I just
Mhm.
enjoy being amplified. You know, it's
Okay,
I
okay.
I think as a Black woman, it's really come to me in these last few years how much we are taught to downplay ourselves, and how much we are told to shut up, and how much we are told to be
Mm.
quiet. And so as I continue to get grown and growner, I am
Yeah,
very much like, oh, you can't shut me up.
that's right.
I have the
That's right.
mic.
Look, you have the mic. You will pick up the mic when you get ready and drop it when you need to as well. So,
Exactly.
Side the actress, tell us a little bit about Side the actress.
Oh my goodness. Well, another thing that I got into when I moved to LA, actually, the reason that I ended up on the plane to LA the first time that I went was
Uh-huh.
because I had landed a part in a small play. And so
Ah,
that's what got me there. Yeah.
okay.
And so I went out to LA to do this small play, and it was a musical called The Shiznit. It was a hip hop musical, girl.
The Shiznit.
Yes,
What is
The
it? Hold on.
Shiznit.
Where can I find it? Where can I
You
find it? Because look, I will look for it.
look, I don't think you'll be able to find The Shiznit anywhere. This is pre YouTube. This is pre anybody's tube. This is
Well,
this is
you are the Shiznit.
the shiznit. But that play got me out to LA, and
Okay.
I was I was the lead girl in the play, the leading
Uh-huh.
girl. Um and it sort of I hadn't really done theater in college at all, and barely did it in high school, for those reasons that we speak of, that we just spoke of, the sort of minimization of Black girls. Like, my high school was very much, the theater department was very much not the Black girls, you know. So I didn't really get to do
Gotcha.
that much theater in high school. But so this play sort of opened up that door for me in terms of seeing myself in a way that I hadn't seen before. And I actually had the opportunity to do a couple of more plays, that were a little bigger and better, in LA, with a director writer named Michael Ajakwe, who passed away a couple of years ago. But Michael, put me in some great roles. In fact, and I was nominated for an NAACP theater award twice for shows that I did with Michael Ajakwe. Thank you
Yes.
for, like, yeah,
Okay.
best supporting actress in a comedy, or musical, that kind of thing. So,
Uh-huh.
um, and I've done a lot of commercials, and some TV acting, on shows like way back in the day, like Ally McBeal and How I Met Your Mother and that kind of thing. So
Really?
yeah,
Yes, see that part,
yeah,
because I knew you had done some acting, but wow, Ally McBeal, now that's super dope. That is super duper
yeah.
dope.
Thank you. I got a whole IMDb page, girl.
Hey, I got my one film up there. It's all good. I love it. I love it. I
Okay,
love
okay.
it. I love it.
You you gotta start. You gotta start with one. That's all. You
Thank
start with
you.
one, and then you just keep adding to it.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so God, talk to us about this new collaboration project.
Okay, so I'm very excited about this. This is a song
Yeah.
called Perfect Love,
Mm,
and it's with my very good friend, keyboardist and producer Rachel Eckroth. Rachel and
okay.
I used to tour together with Chris Bodie, trumpet player,
Yeah.
and Rachel played keys on the gig. And she and I sort of bonded on the gig because we had very similar musical tastes. You know, we would talk about music that we listen to now, and we talked about music we listened to kind of in our teenage years and all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. Um, and so one day she was like, this is like a year or so ago. This is a while ago, maybe a year and a half ago. She was like, hey, I started
Hmm.
writing this song. I would love for you to finish it up, or co-write it with me. And I was like, okay, girl, and she played it for me. And then I just never got around to it. Well, as life would have it, this pandemic sat my black butt down. and and she sent me an email like, hey girl, you remember that song I sent you? Like, do you want to circle back around to try to revisit that? And I was
Hmm.
like, yes, I do. So I went back and sort of finished writing it, and I did some vocal arrangements on it, and I sort of re-recorded the vocal. She had put a vocal down, but I re-recorded it so that I could add my
Okay.
vocal arrangements, right, and just make it
Okay.
neater.
Okay.
Well,
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize that she was going to keep the vocal that I did. I was just sort of demoing for the purpose for her because she sings too. Like, she does do that, but
Oh,
she was like, I'm gonna mix and master this. And I was like, what? And she
yes.
mixed and
Yes.
mastered the song. And this was probably like April. And she sent me that master,
Okay.
and I was like, woo! She produced
Hmm.
the heck out of it. And
Mm.
I couldn't believe how dope it sounded. And I was like, man, we should shoot a video. I sent her a text like, we should shoot a video. And she said, okay. And came up with an idea. She wrote down this concept and texted it to me, right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
and it just so happens that I'm married to a guy who knows how to make films and knows how to shoot, and he's a director. And so I was like,
Come
well,
on
this
now.
looks
Come
like,
on. Come on.
okay, we got a green screen at the house and cameras and lenses. I think we could do this at home. And so she said, okay, I'm going to bring an extra lens over there for close-ups
Uh-huh.
and some extra lights. She brought that over there, and my husband and I took a look at the shot list. And then she got in
Uh-huh.
touch with an animator in Bogota, Colombia, South America. Shout out to
Wow.
Tach Tabuada. So Tatch
Okay.
sent us a shot list, and so we looked at the shot list. I studied some makeup YouTube tutorials. I got, because we were doing all of this by ourselves. And my husband, and I practiced a couple of the things that I would need to do physically to achieve this floating thing
You're
that you
right.
see
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
And and then we shot. He and I had a production meeting because when we're doing stuff like this, he and I treat each other very professionally, So I think we had a production meeting,
Absolutely.
yeah, over breakfast, and we knocked that thing out. And I can't believe how dope the video came out. Like, it came out so good. Um,
Outside. Oh my
yeah.
gracious.
So I was just happy, that Rachel called me back onto that song. And it was just an
Yeah.
inspiring moment that we had during this pandemic because it's really hard, to be inspired right now. Like, I go through phases, like where I'm just like, okay, I want to do a
Mhm.
video and I want to do this and I'm going to record. And then I go through a week or two where I just can't do anything because I'm bummed out, you know?
So, Fern,
So,
let me ask you this.
yeah.
You know, what you just said leads me really into the next question.
Okay.
So, what advice would you give to other creatives out here who are kind of in a Corona press mood? Like, because it
Mm.
seems like, see, there's depression is one thing, but Corona depression is another thing. Now, I
Corona
keep
person
telling
is something
people,
else.
yes, for now I have to plug this in there. Shout out to my and I don't like to say boss because we definitely don't work like that, but shout out
Yeah.
to my consultant, whom I'm a
Yeah.
consultant for, Sky 4 Records. because honestly, if it weren't for him and his counterpart, the leading lady and first lady of Skyfall Records, my Corona experience would have been horrible. But it has been,
Yeah.
for me, it has been very productive and very fruitful. But what advice would you give to other creatives who really are not having that same experience?
Oh, this is a good question.
Hmm.
And I have to be careful with how I answer it because we are all so different and we all manage our emotions so
Very
differently.
true. Very true.
So there is no one size fits all answer to this question. But what I
Absolutely.
can say, and what I think I can safely say is this: listen to your body, listen to
Mm.
your mind, um,
Mhm.
and try to give yourself the things that you need, the things that will make and keep you healthy, both emotionally and physically. And if those things are, if those things are nutritious, and I'm talking about not just physically, but mentally nutritious,
Yes,
you know,
ma'am.
give yourself as much of those things as possible. If you know that those things are not
Come on.
valuable, not nutritious, not feeding you in a way that will keep you healthy and alive, you
Yes.
must reconsider giving those things to yourself, you know, um, because that's what's going to get you to the other side of this pandemic in a better way. The
Yes,
whole
ma'am.
the the whole thing about this pandemic is we got to get to the other side of it. We got to.
That's true.
But
That's
but we're
true.
no good if we get to the other side of it and we're not in good shape. We're not in good health, you know? So you got to just listen to your body and give yourself the things that you need, the things that will keep you more than sustained, but help you thrive, you know? And that goes for friendships, that goes for relationships, that goes that
Mm.
goes for the type of TV you're watching, the type of, you know, entertainment you're consuming, all of that, and especially the kind of food we're eating, and that kind of thing, because
Please,
that's the first,
please don't
you
talk
know,
about it. Yes, ma'am.
yeah. I mean, that's what it is. So we gotta, if you want to get to the other side of this and be in a better place, make sure you're giving yourself better things.
Mm. If you want to get to the other side, make sure you're giving yourself better things, good things, nutritious things.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's
yeah,
nutrition for the spirit and for
yes,
the flesh.
yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
yes,
Yep.
guys. So, Star, tell
Okay.
everybody where they can find you, and then tell me one thing that you want
Okay.
the entire world to know about Cy Smith.
All right. Well, okay. The first question is where everybody can get stuff.
Yep, where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, of course. As your partner Lily Jones just put up. Is that Lily Jones? Who's that?
That's me.
That's you. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. I was like, how's she putting all of this up at the same time? That's so dope.
Ah,
Um, okay. Um, so Lily, you can find me on the social media at cyberspace on Instagram, right here on Facebook at facebook.com/CySmithMusic, all one
okay,
thing, Cy Smith Music.
okay, okay.
Um, on Twitter at cyberspace, and you can find my music wherever you go to get music. iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, um, title. But if you want to support, the best thing is to purchase, and you can make digital purchases from iTunes or Bandcamp. You can find my music there. And if you like physical
Mm,
product, I do have physical product. I have vinyl, I got CDs, and I have
yes,
T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and you can buy all of that stuff from my online store, which is cyberspace.bigcartel.com.
okay. So
SYBER. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Um,
make sure that I put that so everybody can see it. So
Thank
it's
you.
cyberspace, dot
Cyberspace. Uh-huh.
bigcartel.com for
That's right.
merch.
Yeah, yeah. And I do all of my shipping and stuff myself. So if you want
Okay.
me to autograph something, like just say, "Hey, Sai, can you sign my CD?" And I will totally sign it and get that out to
Okay.
you right away.
Well, we're going to make sure that we get that up right now so that the people can make sure,
Thank you.
y'all make sure now. There we
Look,
go. So
you in here multitasking, and I stand. I was like, how is she
there you
putting all this?
go.
I don't even
Boom.
see her typing.
You don't, honey. Let me tell you how I got this. And guys out there in social media land, let me tell you something. When you love what you do and when you're passionate about what you do, you will really make it happen. So I
Yeah.
am not even in the area which I live in. I am in the area which I'm transitioning to.
Oh,
And
wow.
I am headed into a studio. Shout out to DJ Roots Queens. Y'all might remember a couple of years ago, she was DJing at the Super Bowl. And so
Hey.
yes, absolutely. So I'm heading into the studio with her. And also, my laptop is in my lap. You are on the steering wheel, and I got both phones over here. But guess what? Your interview was a pop-up for today at 2:30. Shout out to Raphael for making it happen. I'm
Yes,
so glad
yes.
we connected.
Me
We're going
too.
to stay connected. We're going to support you. And this platform is always here for you to honor
Thank
the
you.
contributions of you and your talent to the world. You're not going to
Thank
come here
you.
and get the gossip and the controversy. You're going to
Ah,
come here to be honored and be loved. Because what
thank
we do on this consulting time is we drop joy, jewels,
hey.
and justice.
All right now. I love it. Yes, Lily. I love it.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Si. Thank you
Thank you
so much
so
for
much.
being with me today.
I appreciate you
Yeah.
so much and have a great session. Are you about to go to a session?
Well, actually, I am going to get to host with the great DJ Roots Queen. So I don't know what she's gonna have me doing, but
That's
whatever it
great.
is, I'm elated and I'm honored to sit beside someone of this caliber. So
That's awesome. Well, congratulations
yeah.
and shout out to her.
Thank
And, shout
you.
out to all the women out here who are just, sisters just propping each other up. You love it. You love to see it. I love to
Yes.
see it. So, yes,
Yes, yes, yes.
yes.
Well,
All right,
I
Mama.
thank you again. And I know, because look, I know you booked and busy, baby. I already know.
Hey, it's a blessing right now. So if I'm booked, I'm booked and blessed. Hello.
Yes. Booked, busy, and blessed.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
Well, you
yes.
have a wonderful tropical Thursday, Si.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye bye.